Hey, hey.
Hello.
We're here. We're live.
We are.
We're on it.
We're on it.
We're on the videos.
On the interwebs.
On the interwebs.
On the Facebook lives and all the other lives and lives.
Live and live.
Live and live.
We are Shaman and Yolanda Harper.
The connected relationship.
The connected relationship.
Right. And what did we talk about last week?
How to find a couples coach.
Right. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So like last week we said you should really use the free consultation.
Right. Yeah.
Take that opportunity to really sit down and see what you can glean from a prospective coach for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Now that being said, not every coach offers a free consultation.
Right. But if you get the opportunity,
Yeah.
you should definitely take it.
Yeah.
And then today, kind of carrying over on that, right? Mm-hmm. We want to talk about some questions that you should ask a couples coach.
Yeah, because I'm guessing that this is not something that people do like every day.
Probably not.
Looking for a couples coach. So, sometimes you might get lost or not be quite sure about what this consultation thing is all about, what questions you should ask, and that kind of thing. So, this hopefully will give you some information that when you find a coach that you feel like you might connect with and they offer a free consult, what that might look like.
Right. So the first question is like, you probably should ask, what are your qualifications? What makes you a person that can coach other people?
Yeah. One of the kind of distinguishing factors between coaching and therapy is that coaching is very much less regulated. So kind of anyone can call themselves a coach, right?
Right.
It's not like the state is overseeing who calls themselves a coach or what have you.
Or the nation or anybody.
Right.
Any
There's
governing
not a lot
body,
of oversight,
per se.
right? Whereas a therapist has to complete a certain amount of training, plus a certain amount of internship hours, plus to pass an exam and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So you should ask your coach, like, what are your qualifications?
Right.
What makes you qualified to help me with my relationship?
Right.
Yeah. And, I think for us, we're each uniquely qualified to be able to call ourselves outside of the coaching world a therapist.
Right.
But we've decided to enter the world of coaching because, one, it gives us the freedom to coach alongside of each other, because that's not something that you really see at all in the world of therapy, is like a couple giving therapy to another couple.
Right.
And it just gives us a lot of flexibility to interweave some of the fun and play and adventure without it having to be structured under a therapy guise.
Right. And then the last question is
Well, the second one.
I mean, that was the second question.
No, that was the first one.
No. Oh, sorry. I lost my mind.
I wrote the question, so I know that.
And we have three questions.
We have three questions.
And I blew it on number one.
It's okay.
We're on number two. Number two question is what structure do you work under?
Right.
Like, what method are you using? You know.
Yeah.
So,
like, what does coaching look like? Right. Are you meeting weekly? Are you meeting once every 6 months? Like, what's the program look like? Because a lot of times, coaches will structure what they offer in a package.
Right.
So, again, speaking from our perspective, we have designed a really, we think, fantastic 6-month program where we work with couples over a span of 6 months.
Right, and it has certain pacing and all kinds of stuff, and it's all really well thought out. But that's something you should kind of understand what you're getting into.
Right.
When you're going to work with a coach.
What are you signing up for? What's the time commitment?
Right. And then that kind of leads into the last question, which I actually finally remember. We have 3 questions, and is what's the cost?
Yeah. Right. What is the financial cost? What's the commitment?
Right.
And again, getting a clear understanding. Different coaches, operate differently.
Right.
And they might kind of have a package and then have add-ons. So is there a package? Are there add-ons? What's the whole shebang?
Right.
How much of a financial investment are you looking at making?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's probably a question that the couples coach should ask you.
This is our bonus question.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that question?
Yeah, so the consultation kind of is a conversation both ways, right? And so hopefully the coach will be assessing whether or not they're going to be able to help the couple, right? It's not just, hey, does the couple feel like this is a good fit and a good investment? Like, is the coach kind of checking in to see, yeah, I can really help you, or we can really help you.
So they should ask you what your goals are.
Yeah, the coach should kind of get an understanding of what your goals are. If your coach is an expert in helping you move across the country and you want to improve your communication, then that might not be the best program for you.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good program for you. But anyway, we do free consultations.
We do.
And these are conversations that we tend to have. And I think it's helpful to have a few tips and tricks to kind of be like, okay, how do I dial this in for what I need from our relationship, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of a new world, for a lot of us as couples. And, most of us never really anticipate that our relationships would reach a point where we need coaching or support or anything like that. So you might be at a loss as to what that looks like. But if you are just wanting something more from your relationship, you don't have to be in crisis to
Actually, I think it would be better to not be in crisis.
That's
start looking for some coaching.
That's another one of the reasons that we decided to do coaching instead of working together in more therapy, is that we want to help couples improve their relationship before it does become a crisis.
Right.
So if we can help by having a conversation with you, a consultation about how we can help, then check us out.
That's right.
Talk to you soon.